we keep on recording this. This was recorded.
Yes.
Be a time capsule. How many years from now?
7.5 years, right? It's been on the Daf. All right. Good morning, everybody. Today is Daf Yudalad. Second school in Sia. Baba Kama. Eddie, that's Baba Kama over there. Eddie.
Yeah.
The Baba Kama. I just said.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh wait, maybe this is one second. Here, Baba Sia. There we go. All right. So it's Daf Yudalad. We left off at the top. We were discussing a case about about returning loan documents that were found, if they can be used to be collected or not, and is that the whole scheme of it? So we asked Akasha on Rabbi Elazar, and then now, and also the Gemara says Tiyufta, 3 lines from the top of Yudal Aleph. Also Tiyufta the Shmuel B'tarti. We also have 2 kashas from the Bryce that we brought at the end of yesterday. So Chada, first of all, Rabbi Elazar, first one, it's a kasha and Shmuel, just like we had the same kasha in Rabbi Elazar. Da Muki Masnisen B'Shein Chayiv Ma'ida, because according to Shmuel, they established that our Mishnah was talking about a case of where the borrower did not agree that it was legit. In other words, but if he did agree legit, you would return it, right? And so that was one kasha, because that was not masha from the brisa, because we're worried that the 2 of them are going to scheme. But and furthermore, Damar Shmuel Matzah Shtarchov Hakna B'Shuk Yakzer the Baal, right? V'lo Yichashin L'Pira. That person finds a document that basically says the person from the time where he signs it, even if the loan did not take place yet, he's Meshabed himself. Did he find one of those? He give it back. And so what's the concern? The concern is that he already paid the lender, and now the lender and the lender is going to go ahead and the creditor is going to go ahead and try and collect again. So Shmuel Azir says you could return it, right? But we're not concerned that it was already paid. So that would be a tiyufta. Even though both of them, according to the Bryce, it says that they agree that this loan document is still good. You can't go ahead and return it. Either one. Almo, why? What do you see there? The parent, right? We're worried that it was that it was paid. And certainly over here where the borrower does not agree to the royal document, why? Certainly in that case will be chayshesh for payment. So those are the 2 kashas on Shmuel's understanding of our mission. So now speaking of Shmuel, Shmuel,
the customary practice was to destroy the loan document.
Right. Well, there was the different minhagim. One place it was a makom, they wouldn't tear it up necessarily, but they would write a receipt. But the problem with that is right. But the problem over there is that you have to hold on to it, because if you lose it, perhaps it'll be collected again. Other places, in other words, they only go ahead and pay, right? So
they leave the loan document pasted.
Well, it would be given to the borrower. I guess it would be his to have, right? So the Gemara says, La pizza so why would he want it? Right? It's like leaving a lion around, because if he loses it, it could be collected on him, right? So anyway, so let's see.
So they would.
Yeah. So it was right. It was like the case,
the fact that it was found in the wall raises questions about.
Of course, right. So exactly. So Amar Shmuel, my time with the Rabbanan. What's the reason according to Rabbanan? Right now we saw earlier a sheet according to Rabbanan that they said that even if it's written on there that you can't go ahead and collect from properties that have since been sold, right? Even if it says it says you're not allowed to. Nevertheless, you're still allowed to go ahead and collect from it. Why is it if it's not included in that statement, right, in the contract that says you can go after sold properties? Even if it doesn't say that, you can still go after sold properties. Why is that? So sabri achrayis talis sabru. They hold that achrayis is there always is achrayis, and therefore, if it wasn't mentioned in it, it really meant it. Similarly, Rav Bar Easy, Rav Idi Baravin, Umi Amar Shmuel. The Shmuel say this. I Amar Shmuel. Shavach Shvar v'Shibud Tzarich Limloi. So according to Shmuel, it says the Shavach. Let's say something that you went ahead and you went ahead, you purchased a property, and then all of a sudden it gets taken away by the seller's creditors. So over there, you have to state in there like I put in money. right? I improved the land. I should be reimbursed for my improvements just because you don't pay your bills and your previous lender, right, seized it. I shouldn't be at my shevach. So those statements of the shevach and being able to go ahead and collect it from even the seller's nicest properties, and it's mashabi to it. You have to go ahead and consult with the sofer and the parties involved in order to put it in the shtar. Right, so you need others than the shtar, and then shibud also. Right, the fact is mishabed. In other words, that you can go ahead and collect from, if you lend money, then any properties, even those that have been sold since the loan. So lema ma diamarha leamarha. So over here, Shmuel said earlier that all contracts include shibud, and you don't have to decide it. That if it's left out, it's tell a sofer. And over here, it seems to say, well, it has to be a discussion: do we want to put in the contract or not?
The shoe would go on a specific property, or just like his properties.
So generally, it's his property, unless it's something like an apoteki or something like that you specifically that this one is leveraged against that.
The exact same value of the loan.
Which the
property.
Right, yeah. In other words, that if right, in other words, right. Right. So you don't trust me, and you're willing to lend me money, but okay, I have all these properties, so it's a general lien on any of the properties. It's not specifically mortgaged to one.
Amen.
So it says, what is the case of a loan? In a case of a loan, there's always shibud. If it's not written in there, it's tow sofer. However, the other right? Now is a sale. In a sale, a person is willing to be riskier. He's getting land in return, right? Then he's giving money for the opportunity for the land. So even if the land goes ahead and gets taken away, so maybe in such a case he was happy, he was willing to take that risk, and maybe that he can't go ahead and collect from properties that are that he sold previously. Like this case, he went ahead and he bought the upper story from his sister. And what do you know? So the sister borrowed money all over town, and then the creditors came and they seized this upper floor apartment. So Tarfamide. So they took out away his stuff. So the Kamei the Marshal came for Shmuel Samarlei. So Shmuel said, when you bought the condo, the second floor condo from your sister, included in the contract, was there a chrayas? In other words, that she said that if the property gets taken away, you can collect from any of her other assets, her real estate assets. Samarlei lo, no, that was not written into the contract. Samarlei imkein zil shlame. If that's the case, then have a nice day, because since you didn't go ahead and write it into this real estate contract, what you just saw, therefore it's not included. It's only automatically included in the case of a loan, but not in the case of when you purchase it. I said that's yes with the loan documents. You just answered before. When it comes to sales, low. No, it's not always included. Because there are people who go ahead and buy it even for one day. So Amar Abaye, and that's your 3/4 of the way down. So Amar Abaye, Ruvain Shamacha Sadeh l'Shimon. So Ruvain sold a field to Shimon. I sold a field to Eddie. All right. Now, what happened? Shimon and there was a chrayas there. In other words, I said basically, if this piece of land gets taken away for whatever reason, Eddie, you can go ahead and collect from my other stuff. And sure enough, I borrowed money from Avrami years ago. I never paid him back, so he wanted to go ahead and seize my land. He says, "Where's the land?" He says, "Well, Eddie bought it for me," so he goes ahead and takes it from Eddie. So Babachav the Ruvain goes ahead and collects the land. So Dinahu also Ruvain all right. In other words, I can go ahead and start arguing with Avrami. He says, Avrami, but every time I lent you money, so I don't really owe you money. In other words, I can go ahead and prevent Avrami from taking the land away from Eddie, right? Because I'm in the middle. And Avrami cannot say, "Hey, you're not involved. I'm just trying to take this land, right? Because you're not pay back." Because I'm going to say, look, if you succeed in taking away the land from Eddie, who is Eddie going to get he's going to go get it, looking for his money back. He's going to come to me. So therefore, if you seize the land from Eddie, he's coming back to me. So therefore, it is my business. I can't go ahead and defend the land from my brother. You could also say, Even if there was no money back guarantee for Eddie. It's not good for me. I don't want Shimon to have claims on me. I don't want Eddie to have claims on me because, he'll say that he bought land off me and that was seized from somebody else and he's out the money from his investment. Abayi says 3 lands for the bottom. Reuven went ahead and sold a field to Shimon. Without any sort of guarantee. The Yatsu Aleh Sikin. And all of a sudden there's rumors. So we'll go back to the case. I'm selling the land to Eddie, and all of a sudden Eddie's there's a 30-day contract, right? And all of a sudden there's rumors that I'm selling the land, but it's not necessarily my land, and you know it's their land, and Eddie still has the contract. So actually he bought up until the time the buyer, which in this case would be Eddie, will go ahead and before he makes a chazaka, top of the page, right? You can go ahead and be chayzer. However, when he does make a chazaka, then he can't go ahead and go back. In other words, look, you had your opportunity, you had your 30 days due diligence, right? You heard there were rumors and you went through it anyways. You made a chazaka, it's yours, right? You were willing to take the risk. And when is it a chazaka? So the Torah says, right? When he walks around the borders, that signifies that his ownership of the land. He could have some different version. Even in this case, in other words, that he, let's say Eddie wants to go back. He says, no, even in achrayis, in other words, he could say to you, show me that the land was seized, and then I'll pay you back. Otherwise, right? There's just rumors. That I don't have to necessarily go ahead and pay you back until the land is actually seized.
So in other words, he has to do a title search during those 30 days.
Well, he has 30 days, but if he goes ahead and even there's rumors on it, and he made a chazaka and he wants to go back, and he says, look, there's rumors on it, but once you made the chazaka, I can say to you, did they take it away from you? No. So other than that, then you made a chazaka, the deal is good. To take it away from you, then you come knock on my door. Otherwise than that, I don't want to hear it. They could, yell to them blue in the face that it's theirs. It was my land to sell. Therefore, you can keep it. Now, one who goes ahead and sells a field to his friend, and turns out it's not his. So Rav Omar Yesh Lo Mos V'Yesh Lo Shavach. So let's say the case of me and Eddie, right? I sell Eddie the land. Turns out it was never my land, right? So the land was taken away. Eddie, get out of here. This is not your field. So Eddie says, Yoel, where's the money I put in? Plus I put money into the land. So Rav says, Yesh Lo Mos, you get your money back, but Yesh Lo Shavach, also the improvements you get paid. Shmuel Amar, no, I give you back your money. However, Shavach ain't no, but I do not give you back any sort of Shavach. We'll soon see why. Right, then after the improvements, so boy minay, my Rav Huna. So Pirish says Shavach. Let's say he says, you know what? Here's the land I'm going to sell to you, and if for whatever reason it gets taken away, which it won't be because it's my land, don't worry, I'll pay for any improvements. And lo and behold, it was taken away, right? So Tam of the Shmuel, the reason why over there Shmuel says that the improvements were not included in the payment bag is because it was not listed. And over here I said specifically that I will repay you for any improvements. Dilma Tam of the Shmuel is another reason. Kevan the Leslie Karka Michze Karibis. Since this land was never mine in the first place, right? So what does it look like? It looks like you're giving me money, right? You give me money for the land, but you never really got land. So you give me money, and I'm paying you back, your money back. And if you told me you made improvements, I got to get you extra money. So I'm giving you $1,000 plus the improvements, but there was never a land purchase because I never owned the land. So it almost looks like Nechse Karibis. It looks like you're getting back more in return for the use of money. Interest, right? You're not allowed to go ahead and get interest. So therefore, no, only the sale price they get back, the improvements, even if you make a shul, how much you put in to get seized, I'm not allowed to go ahead and give it. So Amalei, so he says, so which one is this? So he says, in Valav, right? He went back and forth, yes and no, and didn't have a chance. So nevertheless, Itamar Amarav Nachman Amar Shmuel says Shmuel, Mos Yesh Lo Shavach Ein Lo. He does not get his improvements back. Why? Because Alpi Shapir says a Shevach, even though he told him, hey, you'll get reimbursed for the improvements. So my time was reason you don't. Haven the Karka and Los from Isav I made Veneto. Since that there is no sale because I never really owned the land in the first place, therefore it appears that it was just the reward. I'm giving you the shevach. It appears that the reward for using money, i.e., another word for reward for using the money, is interest. Fine. Acevate, know the page, Yudal of base. Acevate Rolo of Nachman. Now, Rav Nachman, remember, his sheet is, which we're going to be asking on a couple of times, is that you do not pay back the shevach because it appears as interest. Now, so Esvei Rav Nachman so Ein Maitzin Lachilas Peiros Ula Shevach Karkos Ula Mazon Isha Vabanais Minachasim Mishubadim. So different cases over here, but it says over there you do not go ahead and take for the eating of the fruits, right? The Eichel Peiros, the improvements to the land, and also food sustenance for a wife and daughters from the Chasim Mishubadim, stuff that are already previously sold. We play Tikkun Olam because it's Tikkun Olam for previous buyers. Now, Mishbadim who delay mafkina, right? No, you don't take Mishbadim, mafkina, but you do take if it's the land is free and clear. Viktani, it says there. So back in the case of where it was taken away from Eddie, right? So let's say subsequently I sold land to Alan, right? So Alan has the Mishbadim, right? So so in this case, so it sounds like you can't go ahead and take your shevach from the land, from Alan, but you could go ahead and take from my bnei chayim mafkina. So Viktani Miyad says the shevach karkos says shevach karkos my lab lokach megazlan. This is not talking about a case of lokach megazlan. In other words, Eddie purchased it from me, who was the gazlan. So Rav says lo b'balachov. No. We're talking about a case of where, let's say, I lent money right to Avrami. I never paid him back, so Avrami needs to go ahead and get his loan back, and he takes from the land that I sold to Eddie. So in that case, Eddie can go back to me and ask for Eddie can go ahead and ask for the shevach because there was a sale in that case, and therefore it's different. The Gemara says, if we're talking about a case of Balchov, Ein Reisha. Well, let's look at the Reisha. The Reisha says, Ein Maitzin Achilas Peiros. It says you can't go ahead and, right, we do not go ahead and collect for Achilas Peiros. If we're talking about Balchov, Islay Peirik, can you go ahead and take Peiros? So now we're talking about a case where Avram is trying to get his money back from Eddie, or from me, and therefore he collects the field from Eddie. So if Eddie also in addition has Peiros, so he doesn't go ahead and take the Peiros from Eddie, he just takes the land. Right? So Shevach, Peiros low. Right? He only goes ahead and collect the Shevach, right, from Eddie, but he can't go ahead and take any sort of Peiros, right? So Ella, Shita rather must be obvious. We're talking about a case of Begoizel V'Nigz. We're talking about a case of Begoizel, just the Gazlan. I sell land that I never owned, and therefore the buyer has a right to his Shevach. With the ratio Begoizel V'Nigz, I'll say V'Nami Begoizel V'Nigz. All right, and therefore the Seva is also that case. Therefore, and the Seva specifically said, as we said before, that there is payment for the Shevach. The guy says, no, maybe Hakad Isa. No, maybe one is a case of a Geisel Nigzal, and the other case of a sale. I Bolo Tani Hachi. So it doesn't say it. It says the Shevach Karkos, Ketzat. It said, what is the case of Shevach Karkos? Hare Shegozel Sode Mechavero. So let's say, right, one stole a field from his friends, and then he goes out, he takes it back from the person who stole it from. When he collects, when he goes out and he collects from the chazam mishubadim. The shevach he can take the shevach b'nei. Now, hey, what's this case over here? If it's a literal case, right? And then they took back the field because he stole it, and now he wants to be reimbursed for losing the field that he stole. Right, the Gazlan doesn't ever get reimbursed, right? He was the one who stole in the first place. Ella, rather not. What are we talking about? Lav could go in our case. I stole a field from Avrami, right? It wasn't mine in the first place. And then I sold it to Eddie, and Eddie improved the land. In such a case, it says over there that Eddie doesn't get Shevach. Didn't they already give you another teres? So teres nami. So too in this case, we're talking about a case of a balchov. It's not a case of where I stole it and sold it to Eddie. Rather, it was a case was I borrowed money and I never paid it back, and then I sold my own land. That's the case where the buyer, where Eddie in that case would get a sheva. And Toshma, somebody come and listen. Achila is. It says the Achilas Peres case. How does he get rid of Achilas Peres? Person goes ahead and steals a land. It's taken away. Right? When he collects, goes to the Karen he collects the Karen from the Chazim Shabbatim and the Peiros from the Bnei Choron. So the Gemara says, "Hey, Chidami, if it's literal, in other words, when the Gazlan is trying to get his money back, so Gazlan, right? The Gazlan sold in the first place. He doesn't get reimbursed for getting taken back by the true owner. Ella, rather, what's the case? Right? Right? Rather, we're talking about a case of over here where rather the case where I stole land and then I went ahead and then I sold it, and now he's seeking compensation for the money he put in, right? So we said so Amar Rava. So Rava says no. Rather, we're talking about a case where I stole a field. That's from Ravi that was full of fruits that were ready to be sold. They might be attached, but they're already full. The achos, the peros, and then he consumed. He ate the peros. The chafer and he went ahead and he basically tore pits up. Right, he dug ditches. So in other words, you can't just say take back your land. There has to be money to be given in addition to compensate for the land. If the nigzal comes to go ahead and collect the keren, I'm sorry. I stole from Avrami, and then I sold it. Then I went ahead and I sold it to So I took it. It was full of fruits, right? And then there's no one second. One second. Oh yeah, right. I stole it, and then I ate the fruits that were attached to it, and I also dug it up. So now Avrami's like, where's the fruits? Where's the stuff? So now is when he goes ahead, he's like, I was Karen. So he can go ahead and collect from any Mishabadim for me. And then when he's stole from he goes ahead and collects fruits. And then he can go ahead and collect from my Bnei Choron. And Rabbi Barafuna just told Merlands Amar Kagoin, for instance, a case, Shenatlu Masikin. In other words, let's say that wasn't the case. The case was, turn the page, right? The case was really that all of a sudden the authorities were looking to seize property, and it says, hey, who's got a nice house? Take Randy's house. They go ahead and take Randy's house. Now Randy's looking for me because I'm the troublemaker. I caused this large loss. So he goes like for the Karen itself. He can go ahead and collect however, about Peros, but if it's only the Peros, then only stuff that I currently own, not stuff that I've sold. And Rava so Rava gave the first terrace every time in a case where he destroyed, did not say like the last terrace. We're talking about someone who basically got somebody else's property taken away. Why? Because it says Harehi Yado, and it says over there that a left his hand. So Bedina Mashma sounds like that it goes by din that it was taken away. So therefore, by din was taken away, and that was the case earlier. When in other words, when I was digging to destroy the land, and it was taken away by by the authorities because I owed him money, and that's what he wanted to be reimbursed from. And as opposed to the case of being taken away because it was the authorities, right? And it sounds like it's fully intact. They take it away, meaning it's fully intact, not that he went ahead and dug ditches. And Rav Ashi says, look, let's not think about two different cases. Could go. A person went ahead and stole a field from his friend full of fruits. And he went ahead and ate the peros, and he sold the field. And so when the buyer comes to go to get reimbursed for the field that was taken back, right? The gabas karen. So you go ahead and collect the chasim shabbatim. And but nigzal the gabas peros. And when the nigzal wants his peros that was stolen by the gazan, that is goyim nechasim b'nei choron. That takes us from his b'nei choron. So now it's two different cases. One talking about that he stole basically peros and land. The land he sold. And therefore, that we're talking about the taken away from back to him. And when it comes to the Paris, he stole them, but he ate them. So therefore, he's the one paying back the needs. We'll pick him up. We'll get him. I see him. I see them. Yeah.